Hey everybody, what's going on? You're not going to believe this, but until recently, like maybe a week or two ago, it was illegal to own a stun gun in the place where I lived, or tasers. Um, I didn't know this until, well, about 18 or 19 years ago. Um, I wanted to get a stun gun for my mom. Because I figure, she leaves work, and if she's out at night, she'd have this in her purse and, give her some peace of mind and some protection. So I went online and went searching, and I found out that stun guns were illegal where I live. I found out that they are illegal in most states, but in my state and maybe a handful of others, they were illegal, which I thought was ridiculous because if you wanted to buy, like, a handgun or a knife or flamethrower, you had to kind of jump through some hoops for some of those things. Not really the flamethrower, by the way. You had to jump through some hoops, but you can get them. But no matter that you had a clean record and would go through background checks and pass with flying colors, you still couldn't have a stun gun. Well, fast forward a few more years, and we were like the only state that where stun guns were legal. So finally, a court case happened, and it is now legal to own stun guns in the state where I live. So I figure I have firearms, I have knives. Um, I should buy a stun gun. So I talked about it with my wife. I asked her if she wanted one. She's kind of on the fence about getting a stun gun. I went to the gun shop today because they advertised they had some. So I picked one up to look pretty cool, and I told her I saw some other ones. I don't know if she would like this one to carry around with her, but I saw some smaller ones. I think she might really like a lot. So just want to kind of show you what I purchased. Now, this is not a review or anything of this particular stun gun. Kind of like thoughts on the stun gun. So this one I ended up getting was called a Zap Stick, high voltage stun gun flashlight. Now, before I go any further, I do a lot of reading about firearms over the years, books, magazines, online articles. I read kinds of videos. I've shot lots and lots of guns. I've taken them apart, and I've done a lot of stuff that you guys have done. And I think I know quite a bit about firearms. I think I have a very good base of knowledge. Same thing with knives, and other like edged weapons. I feel like I know a lot about that sort of stuff. Stun guns, I think I know very, very little. So it's kind of a learning process for me. So um, I bought this. I think it was $42.95. Now I saw it has 800,000 volts, which I have heard is just something to take with a grain of salt. Doesn't really mean much. But I kind of like that it had a flashlight in it, and the flashlight is 60 lumens, so not a heck of a lot, but it's good enough to find your keys. It runs on two CR2 batteries, 5 milliamps. So again, I'm not really an electrician, but I guess that sounds good. Now on the back, I think I looked at this a little too quickly because uh, if you see that picture on the back right here, um, you can see that it comes with the holster, the two batteries, and the flashlight slash stun gun has a lanyard with like a little like a thing at the end, like right here, this little thing. And I looked at it fast and thought it was a USB plug. It's not. So um, I was kind of looking at which ones to get, which ones not to get, what might be the best. And as I was looking at them and kind of nailing down my decision, this fellow came next to me with his girlfriend or wife, and you're not going to believe this, but he had some incredibly bad body odor. So I was kind of in a hurry to get my item and pay for it and leave. So I kind of left. So I bought this one, and come to find out that is not USB that you could use to recharge the batteries or anything. Um, but that's okay. It takes the CR2 batteries. It included them, and I could just pick them up, so not a big deal. Now, as far as the stun gun itself, it came in this handy dandy holster. It's kind of a so-so holster. It's nothing fancy, not a total piece of junk, but you know, it is what it is. As far as the stun gun itself, here's what you have here, and it is the Zap Stick stun gun. Got some gobbledygook there. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it has a switch on the back, as you can see. So right now it's off. Okay, if you press it up like that, you can see you get your flashlight. Okay, and again, it's just kind of like you can find your keys or something with it. It's only, you're not going to want to go on a search party in the woods with this thing by any means. And then it has this little red light there. So when you press it all the way up, you see the little red light. Now, once that little red light's on, which I'm going to shut it off now, not to have an incident, you press this button, and that's what kicks on the stun gun. So, if you're carrying this around with you, you think there's going to be some trouble, you can kind of arm it. And then to actually use it, you'd press this, and then you get those handy dandy electrodes, and you kind of jab it in them, I guess. The cool thing is that I kind of like the fact that it's rubberized. Not real grippy, but not bad either. It's a pretty good grip. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if this were a knife, I'd say, okay, it's okay. Not too wide if you have big hands. I'm thinking maybe this is kind of targeted towards ladies with smaller hands or something. So I would have liked it if maybe there was a little, maybe if the grip started like in here, so there was a little more to hold on to. But it's totally doable. It's okay. As they say, it is what it is. And then the 2 batteries go in here, which is pretty cool. It's light. I would say it weighs maybe like 4 ounces or so, if I had to take a guess on it. As far as the length goes, I'd say from the electrodes to the end, it's about maybe 6 5/8 inches long, which isn't too bad. And then right here, I'd say it's to the peak where your fingers will go, it's about 1.25 inches. So it's not a bad size. I do think it would be pretty crappy to carry though, because if you look at that belt clip, it looks like a pretty bad belt clip. Because as you can tell, when this is in here, this part right here would kind of go over your waist. And if you're the kind of guy who has a little bit of a love handle situation going on, I could see that kind of getting bent or popping off. Or if you sit down in a chair and this hits the arm, I could see it popping off. So it's probably not the best of things to have. So the holster is not that great, but my purpose for getting it was to put it in my car, maybe have it in my console, because I'd much rather have a handgun than to have this to have the stun gun. I mean, the two don't compare. But there are some places that I can't have there are some places where I can't have a firearm. Like when I go to work, I can't carry a firearm with me. And I certainly don't want to leave it in my car because it's a really lousy area. And I would hate to have my car get stolen and lose a handgun that maybe I paid $500 for. Not only would I rather lose a $45 stun gun, but I don't think someone's going to go on a mass attack with a stun gun, or try and rob a bank with a stun gun. So if I feel like if someone does take it, that there's less negative consequence of that happening. But like I said, hopefully that would never happen. So it's a pretty good thing to have, I think. Kind of like a secondary protective thing. And like I said, my wife will not, even though she's a good shot, she will not go for a concealed carry permit. So this might be something that I can kind of talk her into keeping and carrying with her for some safety. I figure it might be a little more palatable to her. So wish me luck in in trying to get her to go for that. You know, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm pretty excited just to kind of have this option. It's something I've been hoping for a long time. Maybe next time they'll let us have suppressors. Wouldn't that be nice if they let us, the subjects of the kingdom, actually, have something that protects our hearing. But for now, we have stun guns, so I'm pretty happy with that. And like I said, it's a good additional option to have when you can't have a firearm with you. So, I will talk to you later. Have a good one.